The following match is for the PCW Tag Team Championship. Coming down the aisle, weighing in at none of your fucking business, the men of 2,000 holds, Natal and Steve!
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 27 of Podcast Championship Wrestling, hosted by the Podcast Tag Team Champions of the World, the men of 2,000 holds, Natal and Steve. How you doing today, Steve?
I'm pretty good today.
I'm pretty good too. I'm super good.
You're very good today.
I'm majorly, superly excited. It's all thanks to good old wrestling. Thank you, wrestling. If you are wondering what I am excited about, you're just going to have to listen to this entire podcast. This podcast is all things Royal Rumble and everything that happened afterwards. Everything else that crumbled out of the rumble of the Royal Rumble. No, the rubble of the Rumble. You know what I mean out there, people. Good. I'm glad you know what I meant.
It only matters that I know what you mean anyway.
I think everyone out there knew what I meant too when I meant the rubble of the Rumble. Tell me whether or not you knew what I was talking about or if I'm just rambling at facebook.com/SoSaysNatal. Follow me on Twitter at SoSaysNatal1. I have an Instagram. I actually put up new photos recently because of the snowstorm we had here in New York City. It was awesome.
Awesome.
So follow me on Instagram at SoSaysNatal. Don't forget, you could find Podcast Championship Wrestling and the So Says Natal podcast under the same banner of the So Says Natal podcast at SoundCloud, Stitcher, or iTunes. Don't forget to give us 5 stars, comment, share, like, tell your friends, tell people you don't know. Caring is sharing. Don't forget that. I've been saying that week in and week out. Maybe I skipped a couple of weeks. I don't know. I don't remember.
I think you said it last week.
I think I said it last week, right? Yeah. All right. So for all those shameless plugs out of the way and reminding you where you can find this amazing podcast, we're going to go right into the road to WrestleMania. And I'm talking about Royal Rumble 2016.
Yeah, man. It's exciting. The Royal Rumble comes around, so you know you're on your way to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. It's not just the Rumble itself. You're like, oh, I'm going to start to see the sign over the ring for WrestleMania now. It's exciting. I thought the stage set looked cool.
Yeah, it looked really good.
The Rumble looked this year.
Everything. The opening intro package was really nice, too.
Yeah, that was good, too. And it started off with a bang because the Dean Ambrose-Kevin Owens match, that opened the pay-per-view, and Jesus, it was such a good match.
I'm glad that started off the pay-per-view because the pre-show needed some love because that pre-show was
The pre-show was
horrific.
terrible. I normally don't watch the pre-shows, but like something like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, the events I get a little bit more excited for, I'll actually sit through the pre-show, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler was on it for the first time. It was horrific.
He was terrible.
His jokes were bad, outdated. I was like, oh my god, this is the beginning of the Rumble. This is a good start.
And then match was pretty bad too.
The match was bad too. Who cares? Mark Henry and Swagger won, so they could have their chance in the Rumble. So they could do spots. We'll get into that later on. But let's get right into the first match. So the first match was the last man standing match, where the Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose, had to defend his title against Kevin Owens himself. Steve, what did you think of this match overall before we get into any details?
I thought it was a really good match. Normally, I'm not the biggest fan of last man standing matches. Like they always seem cool in concept, but then you'll have the match and it's a couple moves and then you wait for like a 5 count and then the guy gets up, couple moves and then counting. But this match didn't really seem to have that. Like it was like a good pace at the beginning where it's just like, well, these guys know nothing they do to each other is really going to put them out at the beginning. So I really liked that it wasn't bogged down by a lot of like moments where just nothing was going on.
But with the match being a last man standing match, and obviously there's no disqualifications, you could do whatever the hell you want in this type of match, which was fantastic. And they definitely took advantage of that the entire match. There were so many good spots. I took tons of notes while I was watching Royal Rumble, voice recording notes. They're amazing. I might share them with you guys out there in the podcast world. Who knows? If you're lucky. And one of the first notes I wrote down was when Kevin Owens got thrown over the announce table and Kevin Owens fell on Michael Cole and was like pushing on his face and smushing him.
That was fantastic.
It was so good because he always heckles the announcers, and for him to like include that in the middle of the match was just fantastic.
It's just great. And Michael Cole in particular, he's always like heckling him. Yeah, even when they have like the sit-down interviews on like WWE.com, which is one of the few things I go out of my way to check out when they'll post because him and Cole have really good rapport. But I agree with you. I thought that it was funny, but it looked brutal too.
Yes.
Like when he landed on him. But yeah, they worked a lot of that kind of stuff into the match. Ambrose with the kendo stick.
Yes.
When he was hitting Owens with it, like oof, it was
Hard.
brutal.
It was brutal. The other one I was like, wow, was when Kevin Owens did the cannonball through the barricade on Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, and it was like fairly early in the match.
It was
I remember
fairly
thinking
early.
like, this is early in the night, and we already got like a cannonball breaking the barricade. This is going to be a crazy night.
And you mentioned before that they used the kendo sticks, but kendo sticks weren't the only thing.
Nope.
Chairs were involved as well.
Oh, you gotta have chairs.
Gotta have the chairs. Kevin Owens was setting up a bunch of chairs. He set up like 4 of them together, and he wanted to get Ambrose on there, and Ambrose reversed it, actually, and Ambrose landed up doing a back body drop on Kevin Owens.
Yeah, because it looked like Owens was setting up to just like do like a regular power
bomb on him. Yeah, he did a back body drop, boom, right through the chairs. Really nice, really good spot. I was really happy with that one.
Yeah, it looked cool. It looked brutal too. The chairs were like crushed after that.
Yeah. Luckily for us, we had 2 of our favorite talents in the ring for a last man standing match, and they didn't leave it stale. They didn't do the typical getting up and holding on to the ropes the entire time when trying to beat the count. No. And one of the things that Kevin Owens did, which was amazing, which I've never seen, which you told me earlier today before we started recording, you were always hoping someone would do this.
Yeah.
And that is Kevin Owens rolled out of the ring and landed feet first outside and held on to the bottom rope to beat the 10 count, which was awesome because I honestly thought he was done.
I was literally probably 30 seconds before talking to the friend I was watching it with, saying I'd never seen that. Not saying it's never happened. I just never seen it. And then Kevin
if I never
Owens
saw it, it's never happened.
so if we're going by those rules, it's never happened ever in the history of wrestling ever.
Never.
So it was cool to see Kevin Owens be the first guy ever to do it, and it's as close as you can get to like like the 2 9/10 near fall. Like it's as close as you can get to that in a last man standing match because he really like rolled out at like 9 9/10.
Yeah, it was so close.
It was so good because I bought in. I was like, oh, is it really going to be done? They have all this shit set up still.
Yeah, they had the 2 tables stacked up that Kevin Owens set up earlier that was just still just marinating out the corner, waiting to be used. But yeah, if Kevin Owens missed that bottom rope and accidentally like fell outside, he would have been counted to 10.
Yeah, it would have been done. So, but it was really well done. It was awesome. I bought into it. And it helped bring the match up. Not that the match was bad by any means, but it's just, it started picking up.
It was the second win. I knew that the match wasn't done, and these 2 competitors actually had a little more to give me, which I'm happy because the more I could see Ambrose and Owens on my screen together duking it out, the better. Because, like we said, we both really like these competitors. We really enjoy their work.
Yeah, and we've been enjoying the feud going into this, and even like at this point, like where we're talking with the match not even done, like this was probably like my favorite match.
It was my favorite match the whole night.
So far.
Oh, yes, that too.
So, it was definitely my favorite match of the Rumble. Yeah, of theirs so far with this, entire feud. So it was just a really exciting feeling for that match.
After Kevin Owens used his amazing brain and tactics to roll out of the ring and to beat the 10 count, he used his amazing brain and tactics once again to get out of a dangerous situation that Dean Ambrose had him on in the top rope. And I am talking about that Fisherman Buster. But he didn't just do a reverse Fisherman Buster on Ambrose off the top rope. He did it through a table. He put Ambrose through that table. And I thought Ambrose was done because I believe that's the one. That's the one when Ambrose had to use a table to actually like pull himself up to beat the 10 count, and I thought that was really cool too. That he used whatever object was around him to hoist himself up.
Yeah, I bought into that too. Like that was my thinking, just like yours. That I thought it was really cool using the table to get up. It was a crazy looking spot because like, he went through that table hard, and there had already been like so many big moves like that throughout the match already.
Yeah, we got the barricade, like you said.
Yeah, like the barricade earlier, the chair stuff earlier. I loved earlier in that match when Owens was setting up the chairs. He just randomly yells to Dean Ambrose like, "Oh no!" He gets hit by Ambrose with the chair and then screams, "I hate you!"
And that's when Ambrose setting up the table that he ends up getting Fisherman Buster.
Yeah, it was just something, like again, the small things that Owens does really well, and it just played into the story so well. And then, he's able to reverse it into that, and I really bought in. We're like, oh, well, maybe Owens will win it here, and that's fine, but no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I almost bought in there, and then I almost bought in again with the pop-up powerbomb that Kevin Owens did. Yeah. Because lately, I've been noticing with his matches, when he goes for the pop-up powerbomb and hits you with it, it's pretty much the match is done.
Yeah, so there's no like kick outs.
There's not. Yeah, there's not really that many
counters.
There's a lot of counters and reversals out of the finisher, but not like kicking out of it if he catches you with it. So I thought it was, Dean was done. So Dean Ambrose beat that 10 count, and Kevin Owens was growing up on top to do, I guess,
Maybe like a moonsault or something.
Maybe a moonsault.
He had set up 4 chairs and had
that's
Ambrose
right. He set up 4 chairs again.
Actually 5. He set 4 up and then laid a 5th one on top of those 4, which I just thought was kind of cool. Just like a little extra like
a little extra more metal on the back, So it looked like he was about to do a moonsault, but Dean Ambrose, super energy kicked in, and he just pushed Kevin Owens off, like really put his hand on his ass and shoved him over, and Kevin Owens flipped over the top rope right through those 2 tables he set up earlier, and
2 tables stacked on top of each other,
which was awesome. He went through it clean. It was done nice. The crunch was perfect. He couldn't get up, couldn't beat the 10 count, and there you go. Dean Ambrose, successfully defended the Intercontinental title in the greatest match of the night.
Yeah, it was a really good match. It was crazy. They beat the crap out of each other. It was basically everything that I'd been expecting because of the way everything had been leading into the feud. It was just so much like these guys really do hate each other and just want to hurt each other, and they went to like any lengths in the match, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, Kevin Owens loses, but I don't think it was. He looked bad in the loss in any way. Like so many times getting up and you lose the match by getting pushed off the top of the ring through 2 tables. It's like you're not really going to look bad in like that. No. And Ambrose looked strong because he took an ass kicking and gave an ass kicking.
No, it was a great match. I mean, it really looked like those 2 guys wanted that title. One really wanted to own it again, and one wanted to hold on to it, gripping it tight, white-knuckled. It was a great match. It was clean. It looked like they either did the match rehearsed it before, or they just have some great chemistry in the ring. Great,
set the night off to a really good start.
Yeah, it set the bar high. Like I was like, every other match after this, you got some explaining to do because these guys just killed it.
Yeah, and some of their explanations weren't that great. Weren't bad matches, but they just weren't as good as
they weren't as good as that now. But it is what it is for what it is, and I'm glad that so far the first pay-per-view in 2016 started out really well with Ambrose and Owens, and them putting their bodies on the line for my entertainment.
Yeah, that's always nice. First match of the first pay-per-view of the year, and it's a good one.
And then right after that, we go right into the tag team title match, and that is the 2-time WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day, defending their titles against the Usos. The match was what it was. It was a tag match.
Yeah.
I was weirded out in the middle of the match when Kofi Kingston and the other Uso, I think it was Jimmy or Jay, one of those.
It was Jimmy or Jay.
One of the Usos. They need to start wearing
name tags.
I was gonna say they should put their first initial on their shirt. That doesn't matter because they both first initials are J's, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, whatever. Put your name on your shirt, like your underwear. Yeah, they ended up doing a weird kick in the air, and they both locked legs in midair and fell down. It was weird.
That spot looked kind of weird.
It was weird. I don't know if they meant to do that.
I don't know if they were meant to do that either, but I mean, what they do isn't easy, and sometimes stuff like that happens. It doesn't look awful, and it was something that was recovered fairly well.
Oh, they recovered from it really well.
Yeah, Big E showed up and
he squashed the Uso. He big splashed him, which I thought was okay, this worked out well. Mm-hmm. So it was good. I mean, besides that, the New Day defended their titles. They won the match, and that was it. I don't think there's anything else I could think of about the match.
Yeah, it's the match wasn't bad, but we haven't really been given a reason to super care about the Usos since they've come back.
Yeah. They won the Slammy for best tag team in 2015 when they were gone 8 months of 2015.
Yeah, they were gone for the majority of it, and now they're back, and one of them's hey, I got grills and my goatee's a little longer. But that's it. We really haven't seen anything else much from them, which is kind of a shame. I do still like them in the ring, and they're exciting, but nothing new has been added to the moveset. So we're still seeing the same old moves from the Uso, which isn't bad. It's still always entertaining, but it just feels like it's a lot of the same with the Usos. And I'm enjoying the New Day, but they don't really have anyone meaningful to work with right now in the tag division, I feel. So this match was just kind of there for me. I was happy the New Day won. There was always the funny moments here and there, but for the most part, I was just kind of sitting through this match, just waiting for the night to progress.
Same here. I did like the ending when Jey Uso tried to jump off the top rope and Big E caught him midair and then did the big finish.
Oh yeah, it was a cool finish to the match. Yeah, totally.
I like the way that match ended. It was done very well. So yeah, New Day still tag team champs. They've been tag team champs for quite some time, haven't they?
Yes, in SummerSlam they won them at SummerSlam, and the problem is they need to build up the tag division because there doesn't seem like there's any other meaningful tag teams in there. It's kind of stale right now. So that's the only shame is I want to see New Day work with teams where I'm almost just like, yeah, you know what? I want these guys to beat the New Day. Like, I like the New Day, but let's put the titles on these guys. And there hasn't been any of these teams, and the Usos weren't one of them leading into this. I don't even remember much of like a feud leading into this match at the Rumble.
I don't remember a feud much either, but I picked the Usos because they're the only other ones, you know. And it's basically it's a testament to what you said. You know, I was like, well, if the Usos win, I wouldn't be that upset because I like the Usos and I like them because they're the Usos. They're not bad, like I said. We're not taking anything away from them, but
not at all.
Yeah, they don't really have formidable opponents in the WWE. The Dudleys, you know, they came in strong and everything, but they went through their course of reaching for the gold and they, you know, lost.
And then that's it. They quickly just fell by the wayside.
You know, now they just hang out with Flo Rida, but we'll get more into that later on in the day. So let's get right into the U.S. title, the hot potato of the titles in the WWE, and you'll know why. Because it is the U.S. champion, Alberto Del Rio, defending the title against the former U.S. champion, Kalisto. The match was a match. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was a good match, you know, fairly entertaining. And it ended with Kalisto winning the title again. Kalisto's two-time U.S. champion in, 3 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. So two-time U.S. champion Alberto Del Rio lost the title to now two-time U.S. champion Kalisto.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you. The match wasn't awful, but it was there. I kind of like the USA premiere match to SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think I like that one more.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Than the Rumble match. And actually the first match where Kalisto won the title on Raw.
Yeah. Those just had more magic. They just felt right.
Yeah, I like those matches more, but it wasn't bad. I was happy that Kalisto won in the end. It was like, all right, cool. Hopefully now they'll do what we wanted them to do the first time around when he won the title. Because, again, you know, Del Rio holding the title, it's like, that's cool. You have it around your waist when you stand around with your three buddies, and that's kind of all you do with it.
And also, it kind of puts him as the odd man out. Like, it looks weird when they're all standing around. And, you know, he has the title. None of them else have accessories.
Yeah, and like, they don't crowd around him. He's like one of the guys on the outskirts with the title, you know? So, yeah, it makes sense. Because if he was like the centerpiece, even if he's the U.S. champ, it's like, all right, at least, cool. He's got some gold. But...
Exactly. Just weird.
Yeah, because Sheamus is supposed to be the big daddy there, obviously. But whatever with those guys. But cool for Kalisto. Now you got like a smaller guy holding the title, so it'll always seem like it's in peril in the fans' eyes when he wrestles, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, hopefully it makes sense. Maybe Neville could go for the title now. Maybe he could finally own like his first gold, you know?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool too. If you don't just constantly cast him against bigger guys, if you could like show off like there's no cruiserweight division anymore. But you could have a lot faster paced matches now with Kalisto as the champ against like guys like you said, like Neville. And
or he could even start feuding with social outcasts. Yeah, and start fighting with them and stuff like that to actually like just, you know, you can beat them for title defenses. Maybe defends the title against each and every one of them and beats them.
But yeah, as long as he's got the title on the line, why not?
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of things can happen. Hopefully WWE have plans this time around with Kalisto holding the U.S. title and he just doesn't end up losing it on SmackDown or, you know, at Fastlane, which is their next pay-per-view, you know, on the horizon. Hopefully he holds it for a while. And if Kalisto does lose it later on, hopefully it's somewhere meaningful and it's not just like in a throwaway match or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I totally hope for that, too. Anytime.
Yeah, it's a title. It should be important.
Want it to be meaningful, but yeah, it's cool. It's someplace different. It's someplace different for the two-time champ, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, to say that
when you think about it. But hopefully, we get something good and different out of this.
So right after Kalisto finished throwing his hands up in the air, reminding everyone it's lucha, lucha, lucha time, we got right into the Divas match.
Yes,
and that is the WWE Divas Champion Charlotte defending her title against the Steampunk last kicker herself, Becky Lynch, with her brand new top hat that she left on the ramp. She didn't even go into the damn ring with it, which I was like, hey, your goggles are on that top hat. So, yeah, for the Divas title, they wrestled again,
but it was a good match.
So. It was a good match. There were some mistakes here and there or whatever, but maybe I'm just being too hard on them. But it's just cool. It's cool to see Charlotte and Becky Lynch, who I remember from NXT wrestling, you know, wrestling at a pay-per-view and a big one, Royal Rumble. You know, it's great. And good for Becky Lynch that she's finally getting this push. She didn't get a push in NXT, not up until the end. Like right at the end, she got
they were
push.
like developing her for a while, and it was like, she's good. Boom, she went up.
Yeah, and they threw her up instantly. But still, you know, she definitely got a better push now. And look at her, she's in one of the main events for the Rumble. And Charlotte walked away still being the Divas champion. Obviously, she had to use a lot of heel tactics during the match to win. And it was booked the way it was supposed to be booked. But some weird ones, like They try to redo the one where Ric Flair stepped in between them and Charlotte goes for the kick, but this time Becky Lynch ducked and it was like, I remember that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that was cool. Yeah, they try to revisit an old heel tactic that got thrown over. And then since Becky was so smart and got over that one, Flair didn't know what to do, so he grabbed her and just started making out with Becky Lynch to throw her off.
Yeah, I hated that. Like, I got what they were going for. It's just like, oh, you were ready for that one, but you weren't ready for this one. But it's just like, I'm sorry. Like, in this day and age, she wasn't ready for sexual assault. Sorry, Flair.
Yeah, sorry. She didn't expect you to just lose your mind and just start making out with her. She didn't ask you to start being the kiss-stealing, wheeling-dealing, son of a gun. Like,
so in this day and age, like, I could have done with that. I got what they were going for, but I didn't like the way they executed that.
If it was late 90s, early 2000s, it would have made sense.
Yeah, but, back to the match, and then, it was exciting down the stretch. I still felt and wanted Charlotte to win, but there were some really cool moments where it was just like, oh, Becky really gonna do it?
Yeah, like one of them was when she did the disarmer off the top rope, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that looked cool.
It was really cool, and then Charlotte, showing off her strength, lifted her up and slammed her down and told the ref to pin her. And like Becky was trying to wiggle out, so Charlotte picked her up again and then slammed her down, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, and it shows like incredible strength. And it's always one of those things where for a moment you're like, well, that's stupid. Why are you picking them up? But I saw the same thing you did. It's like, oh no, look, they're squirming, so I'm not gonna get the 3 counts. I'm pick you up and slam
exactly.
you.
They usually, like when Reigns does and stuff, I'm like, that's pointless. Why did you just pick them up again?
Yeah.
Well, I know Cena does it from time to time, but yeah, that was like Becky was squirming like crap. She's lifting her shoulder up. Might as well lift her up.
Yeah, and get some more offense out of this.
And there was other times during the match that I thought that Becky Lynch was going to actually go over, and it was when like Charlotte messed up when she tried to baseball slide Becky and actually hit Rick. Flair. Yeah, so I was like, oh, there you go. There's Becky's chance, and Becky got Charlotte in the disarmer again, and then Flair got on the apron and threw his blazer on Becky's face, and Becky took it off and started arguing with Flair, and then Charlotte, I think, was like a roll-up or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And she got a quick pin and, defended her title.
Yeah, and I didn't like that finish just because, Becky had the disarmer on Charlotte, and then Flair throws the jacket in, but it's a jacket. It's not like it's soaked in hot water or something. Like, you could just like move your head around and like get it off, but she had to like play at like it was like tied around her face,
like suffocating her.
That.
Yeah,
and
like the pillow in Naked Gun when they throw the Naked Gun at Leslie Nielsen. Like. He's like, yeah, she had a fight with the blazer like Naked Gun.
even if you had to like let go of one hand for the move, it's really a matter of just like quickly moving it and then going back.
Or
to
shame on the ref. That's the ref's job to throw out foreign objects. He should have just grabbed the blazer.
Yeah, got rid of that. Pay attention. Yeah. So like that part, I didn't like. I'm fine with dastardly way to win, but again, just the execution. I was like, well, this kind of. Becky had to make herself look stupid.
Yeah, it was so comical. Banana peel, slip on a banana peel ending for that match.
Yeah, but Charlotte gets another win by cheating. But then after the match, she beats Becky down a little bit. So that actually got me a little hopeful because I'm like, I've been enjoying this feud, and if it was done, why would Charlotte even bother doing anything with Becky? So I'm like, oh, okay. And I also don't want Becky to fade away.
Yes,
I like this like newfound push Becky has right now. So it's funny. It's just like, oh, she got her ass kicked, but that's a good thing.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, so I was happy for that.
And while Charlotte's there beating the ever-loving crap out of Becky Lynch, you're wondering who's gonna help her, what's gonna happen. Cut to the next segment. Where is the commercial for WWE Ride Along? No, that's not gonna happen. The boss shows up. Sasha Banks, she comes back. I thought she was injured. She told people that was a lie. Yeah. And it was a lie because here comes the boss. Or she was just really injured for a short amount of time. But we're not getting into that. Sasha Banks is back. It was awesome. She came in the ring. I got happy.
She came in alone, which made me happy.
Yeah, solo.
Because I'm just like, so does this mean she's done with Team Bad? Because I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's what I thought immediately.
Oh, I didn't even that thought didn't cross my mind. I was just happy she was on the screen. I was like, oh my god, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks. Yeah. It's 3 of the 4 horsewomen like on the screen. It's fantastic. Yuri was flipping out because you know how much she loves Sasha Banks.
Sasha.
And Sasha Banks got that crazy WWE like hot pink ultraviolet purple hair now. Just crazy. And it looks great on her. She looks fantastic. She was taking her rings off down the ring. I was like, oh my god, taking the rings off before she get in the ring, ready. You're gonna do some business. So she got in the ring and she beat up on Becky for a little bit, and I was like, oh, like is Charlotte and her gonna be friends again? And then they did a little friend thing.
Yeah, from back in NXT,
which I thought was really cool.
Yeah,
I was
so did I. I forget the name of the BFFs.
The BFFs,
Them and Summer, but I was like, all right, this is cool. Like the old school NXT thing I could do without a faction, but this one has some history.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, this would be a great way. The way I thought it right there before everything else, unraveled was maybe she'll kick Flair out and be like mad that he kissed Becky Lynch or whatever, and then Sasha will be in Charlotte's corner for a while, and then maybe that could explode where Sasha's tired of being in Charlotte's corner. Mm-hmm. It could have went that way, but it didn't. Sasha gave her pound. They were happy. Charlotte was like, let me walk my dad out of the ring before he starts trying to have sex with you too.
Yeah, and says woo 150 times. Yeah, once he starts, he can't stop.
Yeah, he's wooing all up and down. He gets out of the ring, and then Sasha runs and grabs Charlotte and gives her the 2 knees right into the bank statement in the middle of the ring, showing her, look, I came here to fight, and that's it.
It was exciting to see Sasha. I was excited for that too, but the one thing that kind of took me out of that moment was, I'm like, well, we have clear defined. Becky was the face and Charlotte was the heel. The Divas division was finally clearly defined after being so muddled for a while. And then Sasha comes in and beats up Becky, and you think, all right, so she and Charlotte are a thing now. And then proceeds to beat the crap out of Charlotte, too. So now we're stuck with, all right, so Becky's obviously a good guy, and hopefully she's not gone. But between Charlotte and Sasha, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, what's going on? It's back to that weird ambiguity in the Divas division, which kind of bothered me. But aside from that, it's awesome to see Sasha in that picture.
The way I peg it is Sasha is the vigilante. She is the Punisher out of the 3.
She's just in it for herself.
Yeah, she's in it for herself. She's not good. She's not bad. But I think WWE is probably banking that Charlotte becomes such a really good heel that no matter who you put her up against, they're automatically the faces. Mm-hmm. Almost like a reverse face where Lesnar's a heel, but you put him against Cena and then the crowd loves him.
Oh, yeah, you put anybody against Cena.
And the crowd loves them.
Yeah.
Even if they drop the whole drama between Becky Lynch and Charlotte, we'll get Sasha and Charlotte. But I think it's going to be a triple threat-ish one, probably leading around into Fastlane.
Hopefully that's where I would like it to go, because I like them. They all have history together, so you could play on that. Either way, I'm still excited. It's fun to be excited with that division because it's some players that I really like that are fighting for the title right now, which is cool.
The reason why the division's so exciting right now is because it's 3 girls from NXT that made NXT so exciting. So that's why it's exciting, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. But they've also just this time around done a better job at developing the people. Mm-hmm. I remember thinking to myself, I really liked the video package before the match because I liked them showing Becky. It felt like a moment. Becky'd really been working for this, and there were so many times where we're like, "What do we know about Becky? She likes steampunk, and that's it." And we got to know a little bit about Becky through this, which is cool. That's what you need. That's how we become fans, and buy into these people. And we didn't get a chance to see that with the Divas earlier before, but
the
this
whole
feud
revolution.
in particular, we've really have gotten an idea who Becky and who Charlotte are now. That we just got to do that with the rest of them.
And it will happen, but hopefully they'll just keep doing that with Sasha. I don't really care about the rest of them. No offense, ladies. I mean, you do what you do, but I really don't care. And
yeah, you do.
Yeah, I guess I do. Whatever. Lies. I lie all the time. I'm like the doctor. Ooh, you out of here, divas. Ooh, you. So let's get into the main event of the night, which is the Royal Rumble itself. I mean, the name of the pay-per-view is the Royal Rumble. Let's talk about the Royal Rumble.
And so, yeah, it was exciting. The 2 matches that I really wanted to deliver, I felt delivered. Mm-hmm. Even though Becky, Charlotte, I didn't think was fantastic.
But it was still good.
It was still good. It was, better than average. So I was excited going into the Rumble match. Been saying it the entire time leading up to this. It's super exciting. You only get it once a year, all that kind of stuff. But, we have the WWE Heavyweight Championship on the line. First, time this has ever happened in the Rumble. Yep. So it's exciting, and Roman Reigns makes his entrance, and we're like, all right, we're going to get this started. Who's going to be next? Are they going to give us somebody that stands a chance, a complete loser? What's up? And it's Rusev. And I'm like,
someone who does stand a chance, but's pegged like a complete loser. Yeah. So we got it. We got both.
Yeah, we got Rusev. And, he came out with Lana. Mm-hmm. I mean, she stops on the ramp. She didn't walk down with him. But it was just like, man, we haven't seen Lana on TV in forever. Remember when she was fantastic and you cared about Rusev because of Lana, and not just looking at her because she was magic on the mic and knew how to make you hate her. Well, haven't seen her in forever. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, she's still a thing.
Yep.
Rusev comes out. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So the last 2 guys from the Rumble the year prior are the first 2 guys starting it off this year. But of course, the announcers don't make mention of it at all.
No, why would they?
And it really bothered me, just because I like that. I think they'd only done that once before, and it was when Shawn and Undertaker were the last two guys 1 year. The next year they were the first two guys. I'm just like, oh, that's really kind of cool. You keep telling the story.
Yeah.
There was no story to tell with Rusev and Reigns. I even said to my friend, I'm like, Rusev's going to get eliminated before number 3 comes out.
And it was a shame, too, because remember when Rusev was undefeated? Remember when Rusev was scary?
Oh, you mean like last year's Royal Rumble, Rusev?
Yeah. Like, literally a year ago. It sucks. I feel like it's been decades, but it's only been a year.
It's still been less than a year. It's like after Mania, I guess, was when that really ended.
After he fought Cena.
But still, so like at this point, less than a year ago, we still had awesome monster Rusev.
Yeah, he got thrown out right before number 3 came out. And number 3 was a jaw dropper for a ton of people. This was a rumor. This was something that we didn't know was official or not. But number 3, boom, AJ Styles.
Yeah, it was awesome. We're like casual TNA fans, but he's like one of the names in the early days that really got us to watch TNA. Like there were some other names, former WWE guys. That's what gets you to go there. But I remember he was the first non-WWE name for me that I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
This dude is awesome. And, on and off throughout the years, seeing him. And to finally see him in the WWE was great. And what I really liked about it was the music starts. And, normally you hear the music, you get excited. You're like, yeah. And the music hits. And I'm like, who the hell is this? There's no one on the roster with this theme song I know. And then the camera cuts to AJ Styles. And, like, my mind was blown. I'm like, oh, my God, he's actually here. This is awesome.
Yeah, I felt the same thing. I was like, you have to be kidding me. AJ Styles is here. I read this. I don't believe anything I read on the internet unless it's something I type to myself.
Yeah, like, unless I finally see it on TV, I'm like, whatever, it's a rumor.
And then he got thrown out immediately.
It was awful.
It was awful. Roman Reigns, Superman punched him off the top turnbuckle down the line.
He beat Santino's record of 1 second. Yeah. AJ Styles was in the Royal Rumble for 0.5 seconds.
0.5 seconds. Now we're lying, people. He was in there for a while. Him and Roman Reigns got real tired real fast for some reason. I was like, why are you guys so tired?
He kept getting tired whenever anybody was coming down. When number 4 came down, Roman Reigns had that look on his face like, oh my God, another one? It's just like, you and AJ Styles looked at each other for like 45 seconds and then finally started to come to blows.
Yeah.
And AJ took his time coming down the ring. He's like, I've waited 15 or whatever years to get here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not running down here. So Roman had some time to chill after, dominating Rusev for a minute and a half and eliminating him.
Oh, God, it was awful. So after AJ Styles gets into the ring and starts fighting Roman Reigns with his eyes and making him all tired, the ring starts to fill up with more and more competitors.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool. Like, Tyler Breeze came out. Unfortunately, Breeze didn't even make it to the next guy. But it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Tyler Breeze is in the Rumble.
It's a shame. He has some nice gold and black trunks.
I think it was the Brooklyn Takeover ring gear.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, because I'm that wrestling fan. I'm like, oh, I know what you wore here. And then we get, like, credible names. You get, like, Jericho shows up. Like, he showed up before, like, 10 or something like that, right? Jericho was kind of early. So it was fun. Then the ring starts filling up with people and I thought it was cool when the Social Outcast finally came out. First off, I thought it was great that not all 4 of them got spots.
Yes.
Just because the title's on the line. I don't want a lot of, like, undercards or special guests that mean nothing in this match. So it's kind of cool. They come out. Curtis Axel's the guy that they choose to be in the match. And after a year of hard competition in the Royal Rumble, Curtis Axel has finally been eliminated.
Finally.
So we got to give it up to Curtis Axel.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I said I wanted him to have his semi-serious moment in the Rumble, and he did.
Yeah, he got about as serious a moment as that company would give him.
Serious to semi-serious, yeah. At least he's memorable. At least they remember who he is.
Yes, and it was cool to see that. This Rumble had moments like that, where like a lot of like not like feel good moments, but just like fun moments. They told a lot of like cool stories throughout it.
I feel even wrestlers who I didn't think would get their own like I guess Royal Rumble moment got them, like Titus O'Neil. Him backbreaking AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, and somebody else. And it's crazy. Like I did not think that everyone would be getting so many mini spots in the Royal Rumble, but it was great.
Yeah, and it's cool. And you kind of got to do that because you don't want the guy to just come in and throw a couple kicks and punches and then he gets eliminated because he seems like a chump and whoever eliminates him, it's not a big deal. It's just like, you get rid of some loser. So it was cool that they did that with the Rumble this year.
And speaking of losers, and you're wondering about Roman Reigns and why we stopped talking about him, so he gets pulled out of the Royal Rumble during all of this and gets attacked by the League of Nations. Well, King Barrett just stands there and just berates him with his words because he can't really do anything because he's injured. So he just verbally abuses Roman Reigns, gives him a wicked tongue lashing while the rest of them are beating the crap out of Reigns. And there's a really good spot, and I was like, wow, that was really cool, since they had 3 announce tables this time.
Yeah, there was a French one.
There was a French one this time around, so the French was there to help us out. They had Roman Reigns laid out on the French table, and then Rusev ran across all the tables and then splashed on Roman Reigns and broke the French table, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, so did I. It looked really cool.
And Vince was out there with them.
Vince was out there with them, calling the shots. And it looked cool, but then this was one of those moments where, like, logic really, I feel like, was lost, because it's like, all right, this is cool. You really hurt Roman Reigns. He's still in the match. He was never thrown over the top rope, so why are you guys walking away? Like, why are you not just tossing him in the ring and then having these guys just throw, this dead carcass over the top rope?
Vince point to the ring and be like, you're all fired if you don't throw him out right now.
Yeah, so, like, that logic really bothers me. But then, the match continues. And
but you're forgetting the best part.
Yeah, the fact that Roman Reigns is so hurt by this. They gotta call doctors down, and they gotta stretcher him to the back.
Yeah, but, when he's getting on the stretcher, he's like, believe this, believe that. I don't need no stretcher. Stretch on that. He walks off the stretcher and goes walking to the back holding his shoulder. He don't need nobody to
wheel and it's just out. Roman Reigns can walk to the back on his own power, and I hated that, because you're the good guy. You're the superhero. If you can walk to the back under your own power, you can be like, I'm not leaving this match.
Yeah, like an Ambrose.
Yeah, and what I thought was real funny was me and my friend are really pissed off at that. So, oh, yay, Roman Reigns can walk to the back from his own power. The very next entrant walking down while Reigns is walking to the back is Kevin Owens, and he is limping and hauling his dead carcass to the ring.
Which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It sold the match prior, how brutal it was, and it also showed how important this was. It doesn't matter how hard I got destroyed earlier tonight, I'm gonna be in this match for the title. And it's like, why is this guy willing to do this?
Yeah.
And you're the champion, and you're like, I'm just going to walk to the back.
Exactly. Number 18, Kevin Owens himself, limping, looking like that Bret Hart Royal Rumble moment. I was like, look at this Canadian. Nothing will stop him. Can't stop, won't stop. Will become WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He deserved it after that match in the beginning of the Royal Rumble. And, of course, he steals the Royal Rumble like he stole the Royal Rumble earlier on, the whole entire pay-per-view, and he goes right after AJ Styles, and they just start wailing on one another.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fantastic.
I thought it was fantastic.
Did not want to see Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. Like, when Samoa Joe came to NXT, I was like, they better start punching each other right now.
And they did.
And they did. And I was like, this is what I need. And they're like, you want more? Good. You'll never see this again.
Seriously.
So that kind of blew chunks. But yeah, we got AJ and Kevin Owens just duking it out, going at it.
It was great. The fans were going crazy. Like, the internet fans are going, nuts, because there's, like, indie story going into it. Like, these people have a history, so and they're just darlings of the internet. So they start beating up each other. People are going crazy, and then Kevin Owens with the trash talking again. He's just so fantastic. It's a shame, because I wanted AJ to last longer, but he was in the match for like 35 minutes, which is a nice showcase. And then I think it was really smart having Kevin Owens eliminate AJ Styles, just because AJ right now, the casual fan doesn't really know him. So it's like you're really like internet heavy wrestling fan. So you have a guy that the internet loves eliminate him. Like, they're not going to turn and be so angry. It wasn't be like
a Titus or Adam Rose. If Adam Rose was in the Rumble, he threw out AJ.
Shit. Yeah. And like, the boos wouldn't be for Titus. It would be for like the people in the back. It's like not the kind of heat that they want. So this is smart, because the heat goes to Owens, and you don't have the internet just completely turn on you, because why do you have this loser Roman Reigns eliminate AJ Styles?
Oh yeah.
So it was really smart, and it was really cool. We got that nice little moment with them, and it seems like are they planting seeds?
They might be, because Kevin Owens, like you said, he talks trash all the time. He said, welcome to the WWE, and then threw him out of the ring. Which I thought was fantastic. And then said, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
It was one of my favorite moments in the Rumble match this year, actually. And it's totally from a dork fan perspective, because it wasn't anything huge, but it was just, I love the way the man works, and this is why.
And we might as well continue going on this whole Kevin Owens rant and what Kevin Owens was doing throughout this entire Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because he was in it for like less than 5 minutes, so we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it. So after he got rid of AJ Styles and all that, the person coming down, who is it? It's Whoa, let's go. And if you can't tell by my enthusiastic rendition of his song, that is Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and it was awesome.
It was awesome. It was fantastic.
Yeah, because I love Sami Zayn, so I was excited. I'm like, this is awesome. Sami Zayn's in the Royal Rumble. But as happy as I was also immediately sad because I was like, this means Kevin Owens isn't going to last a whole lot longer in this match.
Yeah, they're definitely going to finish off where they started. You know,
it was great because there's history going into there, and those are always those fun moments. Oh, Jake and Andre were feuding at the time, and you know Andre's in the ring when Jake finally comes out. It's a great moment. So this was another one of those.
It's one of those returns. Like Sami Zayn's like, I'm back. You know, because Kevin Owens put him out, and you know, Sami Zayn has made his return. He made his return at NXT London, but he's been down in NXT.
Kevin Owens don't watch NXT. You don't care about these guys.
But
he's fighting Ambrose for the IC title.
Exactly. He's moved on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, so he don't know Zayn's back.
Yeah, he didn't know. It was news to him. He found out that day at Royal Rumble. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know. I haven't had a chance to check my Twitter feed to see if you were alive." But still, you know, the last time we saw him was both on NXT ground. Yeah. You know, that's where we left off, and it's great to see them like continue this and attacking one another. You know, obviously Sami Zayn threw out Kevin Owens, but now this is one of those things that makes me put my finger on my chin and wonder, what's going to happen with NXT? Does this mean that Sami Zayn is main roster? Was he just the guest appearance of this year's Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Because right now, the story in NXT, this week actually, probably by the time you're listening to this, you're watching it or it already happened, it's a triple threat match to see who's the number one contender at NXT between Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, and Baron Corbin. And if you're telling me right there that Sami Zayn's on main roster, you kind of already told me right there that Sami Zayn's not going to win that triple threat match. It's either going to be Samoa Joe or Corbin.
Yeah, or they might not. I mean, they might book it the Kevin Owens way where he's doing both for a little bit. Because, I mean, everyone in the NXT universe absolutely loves Sami Zayn, so you can have him in a little feud with Finn Balor, and he doesn't get that title, but they have the mutual respect thing, and then, again, Balor looks better at the end of that, and that's who you got to build NXT around, and it seems like that's who they're wanting to build NXT around. So it could work out that way in the long run. But yeah, I was left with the same questions, and I'm like, I don't know or think this really makes Zayn main roster. I think it might have been just one of those
one-off guest appearance.
Yeah, and instead of bringing in an old guy who has no shot, or like that the fans aren't going to believe in, it's like, oh, Sami Zayn, like he has followers behind him, people know him, people like him, so you know they'll buy into this and get excited for him, which is something I got to give this Rumble credit for. There was none of like the old school guys coming back for the Rumble. They make
like
for fun
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, they make for fun moments, but the title's on the line in this match, so there was none of those. Like our surprises were Sami Zayn and AJ Styles for the most part. Like those are good surprises.
Yeah, those are good, really good surprises, and I'm really happy with those. And you're right, they had to throw I think the only reason why they put Sami Zayn in there is because he was the only one that I would have been fine with throwing out Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
him or Chris Jericho or Dean Ambrose throwing him out. But that's it.
But that was good. So it was sad to see Kevin Owens go. Sami Zayn gets a nice Royal Rumble moment, and I remember the whole match thinking like, all right, so at this point we don't have a lot of the Wyatts in. What's up with this whole like storytelling that they've been leading up to with like the Wyatts trying to like dominate the Rumble? But near this point, because Zayn's like number 20, right?
Yeah, you're correct. Sami Zayn came in at number 20, so we got 10 competitors left. Strowman was in there by that time already, and Strowman. I'm glad talking about the Wyatts. Let's talk about Strowman. Strowman came off strong. First person he threw out was Kane.
Kane, a big name. Most eliminations ever in the Royal Rumble, so he's a big Rumble competitor.
And then right after that, Big Show.
Yeah, another giant guy who never gets the job done.
Never. It was just unfortunate.
Rumble, but still, he's a specimen, and Strowman got rid of this guy, too.
And this is Strowman's first Royal Rumble, so already booking him real strong, throwing out Kane, Big Show. And I wrote down a list of all the other people that the Wyatts threw out, excluding Bray. Yeah, I'm talking about Harper, Roman, and Strowman.
Yeah, because for all of it, actually, while the Wyatts were in the ring, it was without Bray.
It was without Bray. It was Neville, Stardust, Mark Henry, Sami Zayn, plus Kane and Big Show. They threw all those people out.
Yeah, and the Neville one was brutal.
Yes.
Because, like, he lands on his feet on the apron from, like, a backdrop or whatever, and then Luke Harper does the discus clothesline on Neville and, like, took his head off. It was sad to see Zayn go because he, again, like Kevin Owens, only lasted, like, close to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But they had the Wyatts absolutely destroy Sami Zayn. So it's like, it wasn't like a crap elimination. It was like, Zayn was destroyed. There was nothing he could do. So he didn't look bad in that moment. So I was kind of happy with that. I'm like, that's cool. Sami Zayn, fought until he couldn't fight anymore.
Yeah, and he always gets destroyed, and he always looks good at getting destroyed.
But this was like the moment where like the Wyatts were kind of starting to take control of the match.
And this is what I wanted. I mentioned this last week on the podcast. I wanted the Wyatts to have a spot in the Rumble showing their dominance. All three of them in the ring just handling business.
And it was cool that it was
stuff.
3 of them without Bray.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't Bray and the Wyatt family controlling the Rumble. It was the family.
It was just the family itself. And then the Beast, the Conqueror himself, Brock Lesnar, comes in there. And if you know Lesnar's in there, I'm licking my lips. I'm slapping my hands. Yeah,
because you're like, oh my God, people are going to get suplexed over the top rope into the 4th row.
People are going to be suplexed into the next pay-per-view, into the 4th dimension.
Yeah.
They're going to be thrown into the TARDIS. Who knows what's going to happen? And you know what? He threw out the entire Wyatt family by himself, minus Bray. Threw out the family. Threw them all out. Rowan, Harper, Strowman, suplexed everyone except Strowman, which I thought was really cool. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that they did that because, you know, since Lesnar isn't there every week, you know, he's their special monster.
Yeah.
They need a weekly monster.
Yeah, so they got to keep the weekly monster still looking like a monster.
So, yeah, they had some moments where Strowman was, you know, chopping down on Lesnar and stuff like that. Booked all of them pretty strong. I think they all walked away with their character still intact. The only thing that made me upset was the minute Lesnar threw out the last Wyatt, the buzzer goes out and Bray Wyatt comes out. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, because I was kind of annoyed. I'm like, I wanted him orchestrating the Rumble, and now his muscle's gone.
Yeah, and it sucked because that's what I was waiting for the most. I wanted a part where Bray Wyatt's just telling people what to do while he's sipping a pina colada in the rocking chair in the middle of the ring. No. Like, that's how much he has it on lock. But no, they get all eliminated, and then finally he comes down. And then it gets a little crazy and weird, but it makes sense because it's Lesnar. He's crazy. The Wyatts who just got eliminated get back in the ring, and they all attack Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. This kind of annoyed me because I'm like, all right, why did you guys not do this, you know, earlier when you had the chance?
They could have had Bray come in, they could have Bray come in one person before Lesnar. So by the time Lesnar walked in, they were all in the ring.
Mm-hmm. But they all maul him once they've been eliminated. No one in the ring does anything. The announcers are just like, well, it's the Royal Rumble. It's no DQ. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's cheap and lazy.
Yeah.
To have all 3 the guys that were eliminated just eliminate Brock Lesnar with relative ease. Mm-hmm. And even Lesnar, like, it was exciting when he came down to the ring. You got a couple suplexes, and then that was it. Because there weren't, like, a ton of jobbers when he was in the ring, so you couldn't have Lesnar just, like, throwing, like, 7 people over the rope with ease. Like, Jack Swagger came in and, like, was eliminated in 15 seconds, and it was like, oh, great, that's what you won the match earlier in the night for.
He won the match to give Lesnar a good spot.
Yeah, so it was like, he wasn't, like, this super crazy beast. And then he's eliminated by the Wyatts, and then just is kind of like, I didn't really want to win it at the Royal Rumble anyway. And then just walks away. He, like, doesn't get angry, doesn't flip out, doesn't say anything to the guys in the ring. Him and Heyman just leave after that.
Remember when he was giving F5s to cameraman and Michael Cole got an F5 so bad he blew out of his own shoes?
Yeah, it was like, he was crazy before where, like, people would walk up to him and be like, you know, they didn't have Diet Pepsi, but I got you Diet Coke. And he'd bite their head off and F5 them. And now he gets cheated out of the Royal Rumble. And he's just like, all right, let's go watch some TV.
Yeah, he's like, let's go home and eat some steak. And
yeah, so I thought that was kind of weird, but, you know, whatever, it happened. The match kept going on, and then
Sheamus came in, like, number 28.
Yeah, I think Sheamus comes out, and then, out of nowhere, who comes back after, you know, taking a little nap and probably having a Diet Coke and not punching people? Roman Reigns, and it's just like, oh, great, I completely forgot about you at this point.
Yeah, Roman Reigns comes in, that's how they explain this, people. It's stupid, think about it. Vince McMahon pulled, like, a Batman 66 villain move. If you want Roman Reigns to lose, why did you beat him up so early on in the match that he had so much time to recuperate in the back?
Yeah, just not eliminate him.
And not eliminate him after. Yeah, it's so stupid. But anyway, so Roman Reigns, poor Sheamus, doesn't even get it. He's coming down the ring smiling, he's happy, and just gets
attacked from behind.
Attacked from behind. Like, if this is your face, why is he attacking him from behind? Like, why is he doing that? He should have, like, ran in front of him and smiled or something, gave him a chance to attack, let Sheamus throw the first hit, and then hit him and then get in the ring. Or maybe just wait till Sheamus got into the damn ring, then Reigns start running in.
Yeah.
Or Reigns, have him still, like, nursing his injuries. Like, he walked away holding, like, his arms, like, either he was really cold in the arena.
But he came back fine.
Yeah, he walked out like either he was really cold in the arena, like Sub-Zero just walked right past him, but no, he's fine, throwing punches everywhere. Getting nuts.
And one of the things that bothers us about Reigns.
Yeah, it's annoying. He has that Cena Lazarus Pit serum, which is really frustrating. And he gets back in the ring, and a bunch of stuff happens. I don't remember.
It's not a whole lot, because we already got number 29, so it's some punches and kicks. I'm sure some no-name people got eliminated.
Yeah, I think Jericho finally got thrown out and stuff like that.
No, didn't Jericho make it till 30 came out? Whatever.
Yeah, you're right. Jericho didn't make it to 30. But anyway, let's talk about number 30, the most important one.
Sheamus was 29. Yeah, the most important one in your book.
Yeah, in my book and everyone's book, in the history of the WWE book. And number 30 hits. And who was it? It was... it's time to play the game. And I'm not talking about turning on your consoles. Triple H came out, and I knew it. I called it. I mentioned it on Twitter. I mentioned it on Facebook. I mentioned it while I was recording it. While I was recording my notes, my audio notes, losing my mind that Triple H came down. And he came down with a water bottle, went in the ring, started attacking Roman Reigns.
They stared at each other forever, though. Didn't they? Like, it took forever. Triple H came out. Roman Reigns looked shocked. I'm like, why couldn't you guys have Roman Reigns actually look strong instead of stupid? Like, I mean, it's fine. Triple H comes out. Roman Reigns should have shown some fire. Like, come on, get in here. Instead of, really, you? Like, that kind of bothered me.
Dude, remember you said before when Roman Reigns was talking about the Rumble, he was like, and if I win the Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's not going to be booked strong. Yeah. Like, it would have been smarter if, like, Roman Reigns was, like, pointing at his head, like, yeah, I figured out master plan. Or, like, makes sense. All right, whatever, come in here.
Let's do this. But he was surprised.
Gave that Home Alone face.
Yeah, it kind of bothered me, but I'm sure you were.
I was losing my mind. I was throwing my fists up in the air. My arms got tired from all the Ultimate Warrior shaking I was doing. Roman Reigns throws out Sheamus, and then Triple H runs up behind him and throws Roman Reigns out.
Yeah.
And that's it. Roman Reigns looked like he was crying. He couldn't believe it. He lost the title. And then you got Triple H and Dean Ambrose in the ring. The final two, which I think is awesome. Kudos to Dean Ambrose, and he must have one hell of a personality, because they must love him in the back. Vince must love him, because he had the greatest match in the beginning and at the end of the Royal Rumble. Like, you stood tall at the end of your match in the beginning, which was fantastic, and now you're in the ring as the one of the last two people in the Royal Rumble for the World Heavyweight title. I was like, are you going to WrestleMania this? Are you going to Warrior this out? Is he going to hold both IC and the World title? That would be intense.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would have been great if that happened. Actually, like, prior to that, when the Final Four was Sheamus, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Triple H, I was scared, because I was like, I really hope they don't have Ambrose, like, turn on Reigns here, like, something dumb like that. So I'm really glad that didn't happen. It was really cool. Once they were the final two, I was like, oh, man, put it on Ambrose. Like, you already told the story that Triple H took the title from Reigns. Triple H doesn't need to...
Yeah,
that was my reaction to the finish.
As Steve went, that meant Triple H threw out Dean Ambrose. I went, yeah, Triple H. So there you go, people. Your 2016 Royal Rumble WWE World Heavyweight Champion is Triple H. The Game, the authority, the man who runs the show, owns the title. I love it. I'm so happy. 14-time champion. He deserved it. He worked so hard for this title. He's been working really hard on NXT. He went all the way to London to do that announcement for NXT London, and then he's been hard at work, doing dark matches, trying to learn as much as he can in the Performance Center. I think he's a lot of CrossFit. He's done his stuff.
It's finally paid off.
It's finally paid off. He finally deserved it. Finally, 14-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I'm not happy with Triple H being the champion.
Better him than Reigns.
2016.
That's just me. I'd rather have him than Roman Reigns.
I'm actually of the opposite mindset. I'd actually rather have Reigns as the champ because it's something new. But whatever. Triple H won the match. Number 30 wins the match, so this is now the third number 30 winner.
Yep.
Because for so many years, number 1, number 2, and number 30 all had two people who had won from those spots. So the coveted last spot now has another guy winning it, so it makes it seem like, look, you want the last number to the Rumble.
And with a little sneak peek into Raw, Triple H, in all seriousness, winning the Royal Rumble was bittersweet. It was happy and sad for me, because then after that, I'm like, what are they going to do? It's Triple H. He's not a weekly competitor. He's not going to wrestle all the time.
Title's on a part-timer.
Yep, exactly. The title is on a part-timer, and if you were going to put it on a part-timer, you might as well put it on Lesnar instead.
At least he's a monster.
Yeah, and it would have made sense. It would have held up with a story. Reigns and Lesnar, basically headlined WrestleMania last year. Lesnar almost beat the snot out of Reigns and defended his title comfortably at WrestleMania until Rollins showed up and cashed in. Yeah. And it sucks. Now the title is not going to be seen till Mania. We have a couple of months.
We'll actually get to see it on TV because at least, Triple H doesn't wrestle, but he's actually on TV.
Yeah, he's on TV.
As opposed to Lesnar, who was, gone for 3 months at a time. So we'll actually still get to see the title, hopefully. But I'm just.
But we're gonna see it. Like when I say it's not when it's on TV. Like I'm never gonna see, even if it's a non-title match, I'm not gonna see Triple H performing to show people he's still got it. I'm not going to see the champ in action, no way, shape, or form, which kind of sucks. But it's also great that Triple H has the title because I love Triple H.
Yeah,
I think
you're a Triple H fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Triple H fan. I think he's great, and that's your Royal Rumble 2016. So far, so good. I mean, me and Steve pretty much called this entire pay-per-view right down the middle.
But it was just fun to have a good Royal Rumble match. I mean, granted, I wasn't happy with the finish. I mean, the reasons why I hated last year's Royal Rumble.
We weren't happy with last year's finish either, or the year before that.
But it's like, I didn't like the finish to last year's, but the last year's Royal Rumble match itself sucked. Like, the booking was really bad. I thought this year's Royal Rumble match was a very fun match to watch. The booking was smart. It was good. We had prior feuds, like, revisited in this. You had, like, hopefully the seeds for other things. Stories that had been told prior to the Rumble were, like, advanced a little bit more. I just thought it was a fun Royal Rumble match to watch. Last year's was just dumb. It was just like, why do you put Daniel Bryan in there?
Yep.
If you're gonna have him lose, if you're gonna eliminate Daniel Bryan, why do you put Goldust as the next guy in? Love Goldust, but that's not gonna turn the arena around. It's like really stupid decisions in last year's Royal Rumble. But this year's, like, again, I don't like the finish, but it was a fun Royal Rumble match to watch, and it's good. And we now know, or at least have an idea of where stuff's gonna start moving towards WrestleMania. Rumble's done. This is WrestleMania season now. Yeah, there's another pay-per-view before WrestleMania, but this is WrestleMania season. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, it's exciting time. Before we get too excited and can't control ourselves, we are going to pump the brakes and take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about everything that happened on Monday Night Raw after the Royal Rumble event. Did Vince McMahon fire anyone? Did someone join the Kiss His Ass Club? Was the title up for grabs? Did Kalisto end up losing the belt? Who knows? Anything can happen the day after Royal Rumble. Stay tuned.
You can catch Natal on 3 separate podcasts. Yes, 3. You can catch him on Fight Your Rival with Michael Andronico, Podcast Championship Wrestling with the other half of The Men of 2000 Holds, Steve, and So Says Natal podcasts. You can find all 3 podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. And you can follow him on Twitter at SoSaysNatal1, on Instagram at SoSaysNatal, and on Facebook, facebook.com/SoSaysNatal. You can support any of the podcasts by sending your comments, questions, and suggestions to sosaysnatal@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe across all platforms. You have just been educated.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 27 of Podcast Championship Wrestling, hosted by your podcast tag team champions of the world, the Men of 2000 Holds. Now that we got Royal Rumble out of the way, let's talk about Monday Night Raw.
Let's.
Yeah, of course. And that's why I said it. But the reason why I said Monday Night Raw is because the McMahons were there, Vince and Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, they opened up the show. It makes sense. Roman Reigns isn't the champ anymore. You got to get that gloating promo.
Yeah, rub it in, pour salt into the wound, you know. Vince McMahon telling the crowd to shut up like 16 times. And Triple H came out and I was like, what a bum. He's not even wearing the title. So he surprised me. He was wearing it underneath his blazer. Came in, he was all happy, and then they said that
you were all happy.
I was happy. You were happy on the inside. I was happy on the inside and the outside. And that was it. And then Stephanie said at the end of this Raw, she's gonna have a big announcement after people prove themselves to her throughout the night. And I was like, oh, we're gonna have like a gauntlet match to see who's gonna like fight Triple H or something, no, nothing like that. So
a regular episode of Monday Night Raw, and they're like, oh, if we're impressed by you, we'll book you in a match at Fastlane, and the winner of that match fights Hunter for the title at WrestleMania, which already tells us, all right, so Hunter's going to be champ going into WrestleMania. And, Hunter comes out, cuts a promo about how, he doesn't need the championship, he wants the championship. Like, it kind of made sense.
Yeah, wrestling's his religion, it's his temple, his church, and how dare Roman Reigns attack Vince McMahon? That's like beating up on God. Yeah. And how dare you beat up God? And that's what Triple H was basically saying.
Yeah, so like it wasn't a horrible promo, but whatever. I'm still not super excited that he's the champion, but Raw started off on a pretty decent note. It wasn't like a slow segment or anything like that.
No, like I mentioned before the commercial break, the fan in me, I'm happy he's champ, but the viewer in me, I actually dislike the fact that he is champ. It doesn't do anything for the title. Now the title doesn't mean anything. It's just an accessory now for him to hold until Mania. So right after that hot promo with Triple H, they continue going on the uphill for me at least. I don't know for Steve. So right after that, we got some Social Outcasts. Like Social Outcasts were on the Hulu version of Monday Night Raw. They weren't eliminated out of the 3 hours, which I was shocked. I was like, I am getting the Social Outcasts on Raw. This is crazy.
Yeah, you were excited. I really wish it was edited out of Hulu.
See, I was excited because it's Bo Dallas, and I get to see Bo Dallas. I really like how the Social Outcasts are going, where they're all like arguing with each other, and then Bo Dallas is like the voice of reason. He always has like a Confucius type of answer, and then they all like resolve their issues. So I thought that was good. They brought back some old feud between Heath Slater and Flo Rida, the rapper Flo Rida, which I don't remember.
I don't remember, and I'm just kind of like, I hate anytime he's on TV.
Yeah.
He's been on WWE programming a bunch.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's usually like a performance, so at least we didn't get that this time.
Yeah, didn't he perform at a SummerSlam or something like that?
Like a SummerSlam, or WrestleMania, or Raw. Like, he's performed on
numerous times. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's obviously... he's a great person to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, he deserves it. Flo Rida for the Hall of Fame. Here we go, 2016. Maybe that's why he was there. But anyway, let's hope not. Back to this whole crap. So Flo Rida gets in the ring, and the only reason why I'm mentioning this is because Bo Dallas cuts a rap. It's a horrible rap, but they put a Kangol hat on him, gold chain, and giant glasses.
I mean, it was chuckle-worthy.
Yeah, it was chuckle-worthy. Yeah, it was funny.
Moments, but again, I could have done
Curtis Axel sold it really well, throwing himself on the ground after all his rhymes. Which
he elbow dropped his hat.
Yeah, which is fantastic. He pulled a flare,
Yeah.
And then Flo Rida did an awful rap, and it ended up with the Dudleys coming out because he told them welcome to Dudleyville, and the Dudleys showed up, and then they had a match. And after that, I could care less. And Flo Rida Flo Rida interfered in the match too. Didn't he throw Heath Slater over into the? Yeah, and he did the whole "What's Up" thing, which awful.
Yeah, they did that. Beat up Heath Slater, and then like Curtis Axel ended up getting pinned in the end.
Yep, and the Dudleys forgot who was the illegal man for a quick second, and then Devon remembered it was him, and then he pinned him, and that was it. It was stupid. Sorry, guys, I had to share that with you. I just had to share it because Bill Dallas was on there.
Yeah, you were happy for that, but I thought it was a throwaway segment. But then it was cool because the next segment is it cuts to Renee Young backstage, and she's going to talk to AJ Styles. So I'm like, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, like new guy. They're going to let AJ talk, and he didn't cut too much of a promo because he gets cut off by Chris Jericho, which was awesome. And then,
I lost my mind.
And Jericho put him over. He's like, big guy, you've done a lot all over the world, but never done anything here. Finally, you're going to test yourself on this stage. So it was cool. AJ seemed like, obviously not the biggest deal, like not main event big deal, but it's not just like some small time player coming into the company.
Yeah.
And we get AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho after the break.
The day after
awesome.
Royal Rumble, we get AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. And when he slapped him on the shoulder, he was like, tonight could be your night, kid. And I was like, wow, we're getting AJ Styles versus Jericho, and this is next.
Yeah,
this is fantastic. And they delivered. It was an awesome match. It was great to see him wrestle. Even Yuri was like, I have a newfound respect for Jericho because he's an older guy. But whatever, he's 45. He looks great. That DDP yogurt keeps him in shape.
And the match was good. Like, there's sometimes you watch it and you're like, oh man, I wish I could have seen this like 5 years ago. Because, it just happens with age. It slows down a little bit. But it was still a good match. And I like how they keep teasing the Styles Clash. They teased it a few times at the Royal Rumble. He never hit it. He went for it this match, but still didn't get it. I think it's smart because when it finally happens, it's going to be like an oh my god moment.
Yeah, everyone's going to lose their mind. He's going to get a good pop from it. I love the fact that Chris Jericho did the Lion Tamer, which was awesome. He didn't do the walls. He did the Lion Tamer. He sat on him hard.
Yeah.
And, AJ, in the middle of the ring, AJ crawled from that, grabbed the ropes. It was awesome. It was great to see. Like, Chris Jericho even went for the lion salt, but, AJ reversed it with the knees up.
Got the knees up on him. Yeah.
But it was still fantastic. It was great to see. It was a good match. Chris Jericho and AJ shook hands at the end, and when AJ was walking away, Jericho held on to the hand grip and, to remind him, yo, you won, but don't get ahead of yourself, which I think is really cool.
Like, maybe this is seeds for something in the future.
Yeah,
like,
hopefully it continues to Fastlane.
Handle the loss well. Like, it'd be cool to have Jericho be a heel.
Yeah.
In this run. And it'd be cool if this was the loss that, kind of, pushes him over. Like, I couldn't win the Rumble, couldn't beat AJ, and just kind of, snaps. But it's exciting. There's a lot of people, now that AJ's with the company that we want to see him work with, but it's cool that we got Jericho right off the bat.
It's great that they brought AJ in, especially right now at this time, because it's it's still wishy-washy. Ever since Rollins left, it's still, WWE still feels fragmented.
Oh, man, I want to see that match.
Yeah. But it still feels fragmented. The pieces haven't really all been put together and sealed up. So this is some good sealing solution for now for what's going on.
AJ's a very good solution. Hopefully they continue to use him properly.
And then right after that, on the Hulu version of Monday Night Raw, I was treated to another match that I was like, oh, crap, this is awesome. And it continues right off from everything that happened in Royal Rumble, and that is Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I mean, they didn't get a ton of time.
No, not much.
Because, they're fighting a good match, and then Charlotte comes in and beats them up.
Well, Sasha looked like she was going to win because she got, Becky in the bank statement, and it looked like Becky was about to tap at any minute, and Charlotte jumps in.
Yeah, but it was fun for what we got. Like, it wasn't a bad match. It was short because they continue pushing the story, which is fine by me.
Yeah.
With Charlotte coming in and beating both of them up. And I like that Becky's still kind of involved there. It's almost a shame because after all this work, she almost seems like the odd woman out. But she's still there, which is fine by me.
I mean, it's not her fault. It's just that people really like Sasha.
Yeah.
Like, Sasha's really good. And Becky's fantastic, too. But, like, we've been asking for Sasha. The fans have been asking for Sasha. During every Divas match you just hear, we want Sasha.
You hear the Sasha chant.
So they finally got her. So, yeah, it sucks for Becky, but hopefully the WWE uses their power to sway the masses and the universe and remind them that they're supposed to be rooting for Becky. And, Becky does get her time to shine in the spotlight because she definitely does deserve it. Sasha already had her time to shine in NXT and did a great job doing it.
Yeah, and she'll have another chance.
She will have her chance down the line for the Divas, but I want Becky to have her time before Sasha.
Kind of. That's how I feel, too.
Yeah.
So it was a fun segment. It was cool. Charlotte walks out. No one got the advantage over her because you want your champ to look strong. So you really can't complain. It was a fun Diva segment on Raw.
And then right after that, they teased us with a superstar to show up on Monday Night Raw. Yeah. And I was happy with who they showed. And who was it? It was The Miz. He hasn't been on Monday Night Raw for over 3 weeks.
3 weeks. That's a long time.
It's a really long time. So I was like, cool, The Miz is back. I can't wait to see what he has to say on Monday Night Raw. This is going to be fantastic. And then, another car pulls up. And then it's some other loser guy, some guy that everyone else knows about, someone by the name of The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock, right? That was his name.
The Rock.
He showed up. People went crazy. I'm trying to remember who he was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who he was either, but whatever he wasn't really that important. But in all seriousness, like that SNL walking to the stage, backstage promo thing he cut was too long, too stupid, too fake. It seemed too forced. It did not seem like The Rock.
It wasn't my cup of tea.
No.
I've never been the biggest fan of The Rock, but there have been many times where he's entertained me on the mic. He's normally really good on the mic, but I didn't enjoy this. He had a little moment with the Big Show, which was whatever. I didn't find it very funny. But the Lana thing I really didn't like. Him making jokes about them like having had sex and stuff like that. Because she looked visibly uncomfortable during the segment, I didn't think it was funny. I was just kind of like, this is stupid. This sucks for her. And he continues with that monologue thing, and then goes out into the ring, and it just felt like a waste of time.
It felt outdated. It feels like the Dudley Wazza thing.
Yeah,
it's like those like Rock greatest hits. But the thing is, The Rock is so good on the mic that he doesn't have to go out and do greatest hits of things he said on the mic. He can do the "If You Smell," and the millions and millions, and the finally those. But like the Poo-Tang Pile, whatever. Like, we remember that I showed you the Minnesota, Wisconsin wheelbarrow. Like, all that stuff is not necessary.
Yeah, like it worked in that Attitude Era kind of era, but it just feels out of place now. Like he's the only one that gets to do it, and it seems weird.
It's like the Duke Nukem of video games.
Like it's funny. I'm normally like vulgar as all hell, and I like toilet humor, but like I kind of watch wrestling through different kinds of eyes, and it's just like I don't know if there's a place for this in like this world of wrestling right now.
If everyone,
I'm fine with it.
Like you said, like if everyone was doing it, sure. Yeah. Dropping a little jackass here and there or something like that, I'm fine with that. But yeah, the route he was going, it was weird. It seemed forced.
And when they use like some of the words that Rock use, because they'll throw words like bitch around a lot and stuff like that. When other guys use it, they kind of use it to make something seem really important or hated, and Rock just throws it around like it's nothing. And like, it's a funny word.
Yeah. So he does that whole monologue. So he comes out in the ring and he's talking in the ring, and then he gets interrupted by the New Day, which is awesome.
Which is kind of awesome because, I mean, they're almost like the current like Edge and Christian with the way their mic work seems to be. So you figure you're gonna get a really fun segment with The Rock, but again, like the New Day had some really funny things, but as a whole, it didn't work for me because then The Rock starts doing his thing where it's calling their unicorn horns, like what was it, like
llama penises,
llama penises, and it's like, all right, well,
again, another thing where you don't hear people using the word penis, and I like because even the New Day were like, can you say penis on TV? You can't say penis on TV. I don't know if you can say penis on TV.
Yeah, they proceeded to say like 14 times on mic. I don't know. I just wanted it to be better. I don't love The Rock, but when he shows up, I want to be entertained just because I know he's going to take up a bunch of my time.
But I agree with you. When Rock was on the main roster, I didn't care for his in-ring skills. I cared for his mic skills. And every time he went on the mic, he was entertaining. And I was like, you know what? You could stay on my screen as long as you're talking. And I was like, you know what? I'm fine with The Rock being here because he's going to say some good stuff. And he really didn't this time around.
He really didn't. And just... at the end, the Usos come out and beat up the New Day, and The Rock just kind of like casually says like, we'll see you at WrestleMania, and it's just kind of like, well, is this a match, or are you just going to show up at WrestleMania and basically do the same thing?
Yeah, he did a horrible rock bottom on Big E, like a slow motion rock bottom, like a Beastie Boys, so what you want rock bottom. It was like a slow mo rock bottom, and then he gave Xavier Woods the people's elbow, and then after that, he picked up the mic and he was like, "Thank you, San Dimas," and like dropped the mic and walked away. He's like, "See you at WrestleMania."
Yeah, they didn't do much for me. I was like, there's half an hour that could have been better used. It wasn't awful, but just kind of like, I didn't need The Rock's greatest hits. It served no purpose as far as I was concerned.
So after The Rock wasted a half hour of our time on the Hulu version of Monday Night Raw, we got to the main event, and the main event was was it again? Dean Ambrose and
Roman Reigns against Sheamus and Rusev.
Yeah. So I don't remember much about the match. I mean, obviously Ambrose and Roman Reigns won.
Yeah, it was slow and plotty. Ambrose sold for most of it.
The usual when Ambrose and Reigns team up. Reigns takes a nap and Ambrose does all the work. But they had a good spot where they slammed Rusev through a table, like remnants of the Shield. They were on one table and they slammed Rusev through the other table, lifting him up and throwing him down, which was good.
That I actually thought was kind of cool. It's like, all right, so it goes back to last night where like Rusev was the one that put Reigns through the table, so we're gonna do it to you tonight.
Yeah, get our revenge.
Yeah, Ambrose and Reigns are buddies, so Ambrose is like, yeah, I'll help him out. It makes sense.
Yeah, and the match is over, and the music's playing. Believe that, believe this. Everything hit often, and Stephanie comes out, and basically she mentions that the main event at Fastlane is gonna be a triple threat between Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. And whoever wins is gonna basically go after Triple H for the title at WrestleMania.
Yep. And this made me scratch my head a couple times because, all right, so first off, you're saying, so you're going to impress the Authority tonight to hopefully be put in that match. All right, so Brock Lesnar's in the match. Brock Lesnar wasn't on Raw.
No.
And it wasn't that he was edited out of Hulu.
He didn't even cut a promo.
Yeah, like, he just wasn't there. And then you've spent all this time to get the title off Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and now you're just going to put him in a match at the next pay-per-view to possibly challenge for the title at WrestleMania. It just made no logic to me. I mean, Triple H can like cut a promo next week or something where he fills in the hole where, I wanted him in that match because I want him in the ring and blah, 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 blah. But
if you want him so bad, you should just skip the whole Fastlane thing and make the main event at Mania him and him.
Yeah, so it was that kind of logic that really pissed me off, but now we have an idea where we're going.
I still don't know where we're going because it's stupid. Like, come on, really, dude? Dean Ambrose, like, he's the IC champion. Like, he's going strong as IC champion. He's really making that title seem very important right now. Especially, Kevin Owens is helping him with that as well. It takes two to tango. But now he's going for the main event again. Like, he went for the main event before. I don't see him winning. I really see him filling in between Reigns and Lesnar. Yeah,
which kind of sucks because I love Ambrose. But yeah, he's been doing a good job with the IC title. And granted, I love whenever Ambrose is around the main event picture. I think it's great. But yeah, now it's like, well, what's going to happen with the IC title? Is he just going to be walking around with it while he's dealing with this?
Yeah.
And it's also just weird booking because, yeah, you want the people to like Roman Reigns, but you put him in a match with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose, you're guaranteed he's going to get booed because people are going to cheer Ambrose and Lesnar over Reigns.
Yes.
Even if they don't hate Reigns, they prefer the other two better. So it's just weird to me.
I don't know where they're going. Just like I said, it's fragmented. I thought they were putting the pieces together. They glued this piece together, and then someone walked by and smacked it out of their hand and just shattered it into even more pieces.
Yeah, and then they were like, we got to quickly put it back together before the glue dries.
Yeah, because the Drew needs to dry, the glue needs to dry, everything needs to dry when it comes to this situation. But yeah, that's Fastlane, and
yeah, so that's the main event for Fastlane. Yeah, again, it sucks. We get so pumped, and
so
then
happy.
We'll talk about something and be like, yeah, but I don't care. But that's how I feel about the main event scene. And once Triple H won the title at the Royal Rumble, you're excited, but I'm like, great. That means I'm not going to care about the main event scene until
Mania.
After WrestleMania or beyond. And it sucks that now you're putting Dean Ambrose in a scene, so I'll care a little bit because I do like Dean Ambrose, and hopefully he could talk or something like that and be like, Roman, I love you, but I got to put this ahead and get some good promos from Ambrose. But at least we know what players might be involved at WrestleMania in the horribly named Fastlane pay-per-view.
Ugh, what a horrible.
I hate that. I get it. It's all right. So we're on the fast road to WrestleMania. It's the Fastlane, and so I get it. It doesn't mean that I have to like it. I still think it's a stupid name for a pay-per-view.
Hopefully it is good. I mean, already. I don't care about the main event because that means the IC title's not going to be up for grabs unless they do another crazy Dean Ambrose thing and make him wrestle twice in the night and have him defend the IC title in the beginning and then have him in the triple threat match at the end of the pay-per-view.
Hey, why not? Dean Ambrose is awesome. I'll take him on TV a couple times.
I'll do it. I mean, we got him 2 times at Royal Rumble last night, and I was fine with that. So,
but it's cool. Like, we got questions now. It's like, oh, well, what are you going to do with AJ Styles? What happens with Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
Like, who's going to challenge the New Day? Are they going to keep going with the Usos? Which I hope they don't. But I'm interested to see where they go for Fastlane.
So before we wrap up this episode of Podcast Championship Wrestling, we actually reached out to you guys out there in the Facebook world and asked you if you had some memorable Royal Rumble moments this year that you would actually like to share with us.
Yeah, and you guys actually responded, which I thought was kind of cool. So let's read off some of them. So someone's favorite Royal Rumble moment is 2. Either they get really excited when the countdown gets to number 2, or they just really like the 2 count chant when you're at a live event.
Really, the answer's 2?
Yeah, somebody answered 2.
Okay.
Which, fine. It's not a Rumble match moment, but
or maybe 2, like Rusev was their favorite wrestler, and he came in number 2.
Could have been. Let's see what else we got. We got Kofi's pogo chair. Yeah, you
we forgot about the yeah. So we were wondering, like,
Kofi's spot this year.
Yeah, we forgot to mention Kofi's spot this year. So Kofi, he had the pogo chair, the handstand. What he did this year was awesome. He almost got thrown out of the ring, and Big E caught him on his shoulders.
Yeah, he got clotheslined over the top rope, went to do the 360, and when he spun over, he landed on Big E's shoulders. They proceeded to do a victory lap. Yep. Took some dude's popcorn and soda.
Started drinking it. It was really cool. But
it was fun.
The pogo on the chairs. Balance. I couldn't believe the wheels. I was waiting for those wheels to like slip underneath the chair and him bust his ass.
Because that easily could have gone wrong. What else we got? We got from the 92 Rumble, the "with a tear in my eye" speech.
Oh God!
Because you don't get that without 92. It was great because even though Flair's the bad guy, he really puts it over as this like big defining moment. I finally won the big one, and it was a great promo after a great Royal Rumble. What else here? We got Taka's elimination. That's the, I believe it's the 2000 Royal Rumble. The story is Kai and Tai, who are not in the match, keep running into the match and then getting eliminated by people.
That's right.
I forget who it is, but there's someone that throws Taka over and he spins, and when he lands on the floor, he doesn't get his hands up and just slams his head right into the floor. And they proceed to replay that over like 15 times or something because Jerry Lawler wants to keep seeing it over and over again. It's brutal. So that's kind of cool that Taka Michinoku made it to this list because I hate that guy.
You don't like the Michinoku driver and all that stuff?
Oh, the Michinoku driver is awesome, but I just remember back in the day being
I hated Taka Michinoku.
This guy's stupid. Like, why do I care? Like, he's got a cool moveset, but WWE never did a good job of getting those guys over.
I didn't believe him.
Yeah, like when the Japanese guys were in WCW, you were like, yeah, great move, Juicy Liger, yeah, and like Taka's not a name like that, but he's exciting, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
We got anything involving Kofi.
Yep.
So maybe in 2014 when he like botched a move and gave CM Punk a concussion, that's one of his favorite Royal Rumble moments. That's kind of cool because he said anything involving
Really?
Kofi.
He did that? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh, crazy.
But really, this is my favorite Royal Rumble moment right here. And this is a funny moment. It's when Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H are the two guys in the ring, and the next entrant is the Hurricane. And Hurricane tries to be on their level and chokeslam the two of them at the same time, and it doesn't happen, and they just get Hurricane out of there. It's a fun moment. We got 2 more. We got, this is actually good. This built up to the biggest event of that year. Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior going toe-to-toe in the Royal Rumble. It's one of my favorite moments when you use the Rumble to build up a story.
Which happened, hopefully this is what happened this year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but this was like, I think it was like Rude and someone else holding Warrior. Hogan tries to hit him. He doesn't get there in time and Warrior gets eliminated. But we have this like stare down between Warrior and Hogan. And we're 10 at the time. I'm a big Ultimate Warrior fan. So I remember being excited for that. And obviously it worked for this guy too. It was great. It led to WrestleMania 6.
Yep.
And the final one, which is a great Rumble moment, Axe and Smash being numbers 1 and 2 in the 1989 Royal Rumble.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool because, they were like the badass team at the time, and you figure, like, what are they going to do? Or what would happen if tag team members were the only guys in the ring? And they gave us the answer. Like, they're demolition. They went at it with each other. It was back when it was every 2 minutes was a new guy, not a minute and a half. But they beat up each other for 2 minutes, and then poor number 3 came in and had to deal with demolition.
Yeah.
But it's a cool random Royal Rumble moment, actually, that I'm glad made it up here.
And I would like to thank you all so much for taking your time and using your busy little thumbs to give us those answers on Facebook so we could share them here on PCW.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's actually really cool. It's kind of sad because we're done really talking about the Rumble.
Yeah, we're done talking about the Rumble. That brings this episode of PCW to the...
Except when we randomly remind you guys that 92 is the best Rumble ever, and we're probably watching it for like the 14th time while recording an episode.
Of course, or after we're done recording the episode and we are celebrating victory. And we are celebrating our victory of finishing the podcast. We're most likely watching Royal Rumble 92. And we might be doing that right now because, like I said before, for real this time, this is the end of episode 27 of Podcast Championship Wrestling. Thank you guys so much for taking your time and listening. And this is Natal saying goodbye for Steve. And remember, we have 2,000 more than you.
The winners of this bout, and still PCW Tag Team Champions, the men of 2,000 Holds,